Swift, tough crowd over there. Let's just move on. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the last act before your headline? Oh. So I want all of us in the room, because this is like we've done very well. You guys have been fantastic. I'd just like you to patronise one more fucking comic on stage before we get to the headline. Are you ready to? Let's just sort of pretend that it's everything is going fucking wonderful. Come on, one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Personally, please, give your hands up for the wonderful Brian, ladies and gentlemen!
Yeah. Hello. Hello. I'm Brian.
Hi.
I drive a Rover 45. Tell us more, Brian. That's really interesting. I can hear you all saying yourselves. It's basically the worst car in the world. It's an absolute. Has anybody here ever driven a Rover 45 or a Rover or in any?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Paul. Yeah.
We all have our cross to bear.
Yeah, exactly. Let me tell you a bit about the Rover. Basically, they built them really well. They gave it a nice chrome finish, alloy wheels, lovely leather interior. They gave it central locking. They gave it everything, everything just except the engine. They just said, fuck it, we'll leave the engine, it doesn't matter. And Rover went out of business about 10 years ago. So basically, now owning a Rover is kind of strange, because if a part goes in it, rather than replacing the part, it's actually cheaper just to buy another Rover. Well, in a way you are buying the part, but you're getting the rest of the car with it. You know, it's funny, like if it gets clamped, it's actually cheaper just to buy another Rover. If it fails an MOT, it's actually cheaper just to buy another Rover. In fact, if it runs out of petrol, it's such an awful car. I often wondered if James Bond was given a Rover 45 by Q, you know. This is your new car, Bond. Oh, gosh, it's very excellent. Oh, Q, gosh, well, why am I Dutch? Sorry. It's a pretty bad car. There's like the Rover 45, the Rover 75, there's the Mars Rover. The Mars Rover wasn't built by Rover, it was built by NASA.
Thank God.
Thank God indeed, yeah. But if Rover did make the Mars Rover, it probably wouldn't go anywhere on the surface of Mars, but it would have a nice alloy wheels and central locking, which would be important, I feel. Another thing about myself actually is that I went to school in Sing Street here in Dublin city centre. Have you ever heard of Sing Street, the school? No? There was actually a film made. Yeah, there was actually a film made about Sing Street this year. It came out a few months ago. It was called Sing Street. It was, except it's SING because it's a singing film, but it was based in the school, whereas my school is spelled SYI. I don't know how to spell it out. They never taught us how to spell the name because it was such a bad school. It was terrible. I had this religion teacher. He was the laziest teacher I ever had. He used to teach us religion by teaching us lessons of life by making us watch his favourite films. Like one day he made us watch Train Spotting, and at the end of it he just got up in front of the class and said, "And that's why you shouldn't do drugs." Another day he made us watch Wall Street, and at the end of it he just got up and said, "That's why you shouldn't be greedy." But the weirdest one was when he made us watch Die Hard. And at the end of it, he got up and said, "That's why you should never negotiate with terrorists." In fairness, he did show us the Passion of the Christ one time. But at the end of it, he got up and said, "And that's why you don't fuck with the Jews." I don't think he's teaching religion anymore, actually. It was such a bad school, though. I remember I had this. I knew this guy. He was the biggest messer in the school. He was so thick. He was so stupid. He actually taught algebra as a country, and he was barred from all the local shops on Camden Street because he used to go around to them at lunchtime and just nick loads of sweets and all. And he was just an idiot, you know. I don't know what he's doing now, but back then he was the head principal of the school. What was that?
Economics.
Oh, right. Thanks. Any more jokes? I could do with some help up here, as you'd say. Yeah. But what else? Yeah, well, last Sunday, I was sitting at home, just lying on my couch, hungover in my pants, doing what a lot of young men would do on their own on a Sunday afternoon. I was watching Columbo. You know Columbo, do you? The 1970s TV show, do you know about the homicide detective with the cigar? Yeah, I was watching that. It was a really good episode. It was really interesting, actually. It was about this arrogant rich guy who thought he got away with murder because he thought Columbo was an idiot. Then I watched it. I remember I watched it the Sunday before that as well, and it was another really good episode. It was about an arrogant rich guy who thought he got away with murder because he thought Columbo was an idiot. And I remember seeing this classic a few years ago. It was just brilliant. It was about an arrogant rich guy who thought he got away with murder because he thought Columbo was an idiot. So you can imagine my delight when I was flicking through the stations last Sunday and found Columbo on. It was like, brilliant. Fantastic. I love Columbo. I wonder what the fuck today's episode is about. There was a really good twist in the end of this episode, though. Really, like, basically what happened was Columbo turned out to be really intelligent and convicted the arrogant rich guy for murder. It was like, Jesus, I didn't see that coming. I was quite. That was totally unexpected. Yeah, but I didn't see Columbo today, unfortunately. It's shit. I think that's me done. So, that's, very honest.